The main threat for severe weather will be along and ahead of this line where winds could be around 60 miles per hour. That is enough to knock down some trees. A whole lot of lightning in here, more than 700 strikes just in the past 10 minutes. A very weak cold front's moving into the area. Right along that front's where we're seeing showers and thunderstorms form. As that front drifts to the south tomorrow, we'll have a few more clouds around. Hopefully that'll knock 4 or 5 degrees off the temperature. Forecast high temperature tomorrow 99 down to 96 for Thursday and Friday, and mid-90s takes us into next week. Right now at Television Park we have 84 degrees. That dew point all the way down into the upper 50s, so it feels good out there tonight. Starting off cold today, 28 degrees for a morning temperature. By noon, not a whole lot better at 43. For the afternoon, we'll all be hopefully out in the backyard playing football or something with our family, having fun there. It's going to be a cold day to be outside though, 48 degrees. Another rainy day out there, and that means a bad hair day forecast again for Bennettsville and all across the area. As bad as it gets, as a matter of fact. A 1 out of 5 thanks to some heavy rain later today. Maybe some winds up to around 25 miles per hour. As we put our radar into hail tracking mode, where you see the purple spots there, that's where we could have quarter-size hail. So that is moving to the east toward Jackson. This one came in from Pete and Appling. I believe this was taken last night as the storm rolled into the area. We got a double rainbow anytime it rains. Sometimes you can have a rainbow. Jill Ehrman had just that in Hepzibah. Thank you, Jill, for that photo. Panoramic picture here. This is pretty cool looking from North Augusta. Thank you, Robert Geiger, for a nice looking photo there. Here's a look at the storms on our radar. You can see them racing to the east at 30 miles per hour. Also want you to notice kind of the bow shape to the rain there. That is a sign that the winds in this area are moving faster than the winds up here, and that's where you can have those 60 mile per hour winds. Now later on tonight, that's when there is a little bit of concern. We just passed high tides. We'll have low tide coming up about 9 o'clock tonight. And then overnight tonight, another high tide, and they are expecting a storm surge here around 5 feet. All right, here we are. We are live in Myrtle Beach at the boardwalk. We've been anticipating this moment all morning. That's right, the sunrise. I'm kidding.
Oh, that was wrong. That was wrong. What's up, man?
Price.
How are you?
Good to see you.
Good to be back.
Initially, the flakes were very, very small. That's a sign the air's dry and most of it evaporating before it hits the ground. What'll happen is the air will moisten up. These flakes are getting a little bit larger, and they'll probably be half-dollar size flakes before you know it in a couple of hours. All right, thanks a lot, Frankie. I'm at the studio in Florence. It started snowing here about 4:15. Best I can tell, there's already about a ½ inch of snow here on the ground, and as you can see here behind me, I've got my weather station here with me, and our temperature for the time being still above freezing, right about 33 degrees. Our wind coming in from the northwest. Snow starting to accumulate here just a little bit on the grassy areas. Let's go ahead and take a look at how much accumulation we do expect around the PD as we head through the overnight hours. About 1 to 3 inches of snow likely in Bennettsville. Same thing in Darlington. A little more here in Florence over toward Dillon. 2 up to around 5 inches of snow in some areas. And as you head south into the PD, quite a snow event. That could be where some of the heavier snow is. 2 to even 5 inches in places like Johnsonville up toward Marion. Again, the snow just getting underway. About a ½ inch on the ground now. A few flurries on the Grand Strand from what I hear as well. For more about that and what to expect tonight at the beach, let's go to Lindsay Milburn. I got a photo a little while ago from my parents that live right there in Cobb County. They've got about 1 inch of snow on the ground. Those grayer colors, that's where you're having some of the heavier snow, and that's where they are starting to see some accumulation. In our area, mainly rain down to the south, but these heavier patches here that are indicated on the radar, that's where we have some pockets of sleet. The ice has a higher reflectivity and tends to show up like heavy rain. That is some sleet being reported in Barnwell County. Most of the precip still to the south of the Augusta area. And all this snow will eventually work its way to the east over the next few hours. By 8 p.m., a 70% chance of snow. That's when we could start to see some accumulation. By midnight, a 60% chance of snow, 28 degrees. And then overnight, by 2 a.m., I think the snow's starting to taper off some, and it's all gone as we head toward daybreak. Here's a look at our radar out there this evening. A lot of heavy weather pretty much north to south across the area is moving east at 30 miles per hour. The main threat for severe weather will be along and ahead of this line where winds could be around 60 miles per hour. That is enough to knock down some trees. A whole lot of lightning in here, more than 700 strikes just in the past 10 minutes. A lot of heavy weather there in Burke County as well as moving into Swainsboro. In fact, a brand new warning issued for Emmanuel County. That one's going to go until about 6:15 tonight. That thunderstorm warning there for Emanuel County. As we take a closer look at the Augusta metro area, there you can see that line of thunderstorms moving out of Augusta in the short term, but there is another edge of heavy rain moving into Grovetown and Fort Gordon. That warning continuing for about 15 more minutes. As we put our radar into hail tracking mode, where you see the purple spots there, that's where we could have quarter-size hail. So that is moving to the east toward Jackson and approaching the Aiken area as well. So if it's not storming in your area, might be a good idea to bring your car under the shelter if you have that available. That way when the storms do come, your car is protected. Up into Saluda County, we have heavy rain and thunderstorms moving through Saluda. This is going to last about 20 more minutes as it moves on to the east. The heaviest winds have already passed through your area. And headed on down to the south, there's Emanuel County, a heavy thunderstorm about to move into Swainsboro. So that severe thunderstorm warning now in effect for your area as that storm moves to the east into Swainsboro in the next 15 minutes. It is the 4th day of November and still not a bit of sunshine the entire month. Of course, it's dark right now, so even if it was clear, we wouldn't have any sunshine, but we actually have some rain across Columbia and Edgefield, Aiken County there. We'll have to zoom in kind of tight to really see where it's going. Moving off to the northeast, looks like Martinez getting some light rain right now. Evans, maybe some drizzle and mist out there. In fact, where you don't see the rain, we are talking about just kind of misty conditions out there. But as we zoom in, really tight here, there's the light rain moving out of Martinez. There's Bergen Road right there, the Savannah River, I-20. So if you live in that area, if you look outside, you've got some light rain falling out there. This is going to be about it. Maybe a trace amount of rain overnight, and that's the heavy stuff. But still, you'll find yourself using the intermittent wipers again tonight. We'll have that fog developing, so remember to have the low beams on if you're out there on the roads. On our live tower cam tonight, it is 65 degrees. Notice the wet roadways out there, even though we don't officially have rain falling here at Television Park. Northeast winds tonight at 6. It is warm and muggy out there. These temperatures here would be more like June than they would November as far as nighttime temperatures. Right now 66 in Barnwell, muggy in Louisville at 68 degrees. Headed into your Thursday, not a lot of change. This wedge pattern where we get the persistent northeast wind won't really change a whole lot tomorrow. Fog and drizzle at 7 o'clock in the morning, maybe a little brighter toward the afternoon, but I'm not getting my hopes up too high. We'll get up into the mid-70s, maybe a couple of degrees warmer than it was today. Here's our satellite picture showing our weather setup. We've got our area of low pressure that dumped the heavy rain a couple of days ago, but as expected, it stalled out there over the Atlantic coast. Counterclockwise flow around that, along with a high pressure over New England, are working together to give us that northeasterly flow at the surface, and that's pulling in moisture off the Atlantic Ocean. Meanwhile, notice the rain is actually moving in from the southwest. That's a sign the winds aloft are from the southwest, and that is actually trapping that thin layer of clouds and drizzle near the surface. And as long as this wind is from the northeast, our pattern's not going to change. So let's take a look at our winds and see when that may happen. Right now, winds 5 miles per hour, mainly from the east to northeast. Our forecast tracker, though, as we head through the day on Thursday, offers some modest change to the forecast. 7 o'clock in the morning, still mainly an easterly to northeasterly wind, so it's going to be another foggy and drizzly start to the day. Well, look what happens, though, as we head toward the afternoon. The winds start to turn a little bit from the southeast, and they'll turn even more to the south, even the southwest by Friday. That's going to allow the sunshine to come back, and it's also going to take high temperatures into the 80s, I think, on Friday. But don't get used to it. It looks like a cold front comes in and brings us thunderstorms for the weekend. Here's your forecast tonight. Misty and drizzly out there. 65 the low in Aiken, 69 in Millen. For your Thursday, it looks like another cloudy day. Only a 20% chance of rain, but kind of dreary out there again tomorrow. A nice day out there on Friday with a high near 80. Saturday, though, Ashley, not so nice, but I'm still thinking Sunday should be decent. This is opening day for the Myrtle Beach Pelicans. If you've ever been to a game here, I know you've seen Dinger and possibly even his younger brother Deuce, and I happen to have Deuce right here with me, and he always brings the balls out to the dugout, and there you see he's bringing me the ball. See, I'm not wearing my umpire outfit, but I'm going to take it from him right here, and that's all you do. And if you don't give it back, he doesn't get real happy about that. But see, I take the ball out, I hand it back to him, and I don't even have to tell him. He just takes it right back to the dugout, and there he is. That's actually Dinger's younger brother right here, and I'm here with Maggie Neal.
And you've got got some sort of rotation.
At a cost of $300,000 each, the National Weather Service recently upgraded each of its Doppler radar sites to dual polarization or dual pol radar. This new radar scans the storm in both a horizontal and vertical direction, giving forecasters a more detailed picture of what's going on inside the storm. Traditional Doppler radar only used a single horizontal beam. Having a two-dimensional view allows us to know the size, shape, and consistency of particles inside the storm. This not only helps us see the difference between rain and snow, how heavy the rain is, or the size of the hail, but it can also see tornado debris.
It really won't give us an advance warning of tornadoes over the older radar. What it will do, though, is allow us to see a debris signature, which pretty much confirms that there is a tornado on the ground.
Unless that tornado is in the Augusta area.
The one feature that the tornado debris signatures, those will be dependent on the strength of the storm, and the further away you get from the radar, the less likely they're going to be lifted high up in the atmosphere to detect.
The new dual pol radar can actually detect debris from the tornado as it's thrown up into the sky out to about 70 miles from the radar site. The only trouble is most of us live more than 70 miles away from the nearest dual pol radar, much of the CSRA up to 100 miles away. That leaves much of the CSRA in a bit of a tornado blind spot. And that is especially concerning to emergency responders.
Being able to see the debris ball is tremendous because you know you've got a tornado on the ground. You know debris is not going to show up if there's not a tornado on the ground.
That is a tornado.
The National Weather Service already credits dual pol radar with saving lives earlier this year in Jackson, Mississippi, when a dual pol radar detected debris from an EF4 tornado. Knowing they had a large tornado on the ground, the Weather Service, law enforcement, and local media were able to aggressively warn those in its path, and as a result, no one died. Despite this fact, our local Weather Service office in Columbia insists that not being able to detect debris from an incoming tornado is not a safety concern.
It will not allow you to issue a warning for a tornado any better than the existing technology. We usually know well in advance of seeing a debris ball whether we're expecting a tornado to form out of that storm.
However, Camerado does admit that having a dual pol radar in Augusta would be a nice tool to have in his bag.
The advantage of having the radar close is that it gives you a better estimate of what the velocity fields are closer to the ground.
Since building a dual pol radar in our area probably won't happen anytime soon, the Weather Service, emergency responders, and local media will have to do the best we can with the tools we have.